Canine Assisted Therapy Project works with our adolescent substance treatment program here at Denver Health. Almost all of our adolescents have some kind of co-occurring mental health condition, so depression, anxiety, trauma. So the dogs partner with us to try to convey some of these psychotherapy principles that we're working on. Studies go back to the 1970s that dogs somehow increase trust, they reduce our blood pressure, they promote oxytocin, which is the bonding chemical. But it's much more than just having an animal present in the session. So the animals actually go through a lot of training with the therapist.
So I was thinking we would work on responding to someone coming in. Oh, Lennon, oh, I'm so excited to see her. And let her come over and say hello. Hi there. The focus of the training is on boosting therapeutically helpful neurochemistry that helps people to engage in a therapy setting, making sure that the dog is under control and isn't doing anything that's interfering. And then there are also therapeutic skills that you can teach a dog, like deep pressure therapy. Hey. Use this like a little pillow, but you get that contact, you get some of that co-regulation.
There's a lot of things that the dogs can model for the young people that come into our clinic. My dog Lennon has a lot of energy and I think can very much emulate ADHD. And then we can model for the kid, you know, well, how did Lennon problem solve this? Or what did Lennon do when she was frustrated? If she's in a situation that's difficult, hopefully like within training she's learned, oh, if I don't know what to do, I'm gonna look up to mom. Which I think is another great thing that we can like teach young people is like the importance of trust and like having a support person, like what that can do for your life, especially in difficult situations.
Adolescents with substance use in specific and with like acute mental health don't have a ton of services. And I think being able to find new ways to work with those clients is so important. And it's not just about lowering blood pressure or like just soothing them, but how do we create interventions and like really utilize them to help build confidence, to build identity.
He calmed me down. He makes me want to sleep too, and like soothe you and like that way. And it's like, maybe I had a long week. Yeah, we're the same. Yeah, you just both had a lot of big emotions going on this week. Yeah, like when I'm high, I'm just thinking about like, I shouldn't be doing this. Why am I still doing it? And I need to stop it. How do I get out of this cycle?
Look who's here. Look who's here. Yes, you can. When we are really stuck in like trauma, often it's really difficult to talk about it. So even things of like, if you're not ready to tell me about it, you could whisper it to Benny. Like maybe he could hold your secrets if we're not ready to talk about it right now.
Ever since I turned 12, I started smoking meth. I've overdosed on blues at least 4 times, overdosed on meth at least once. When I first met Rachel, I hated it because I wouldn't even talk to her. I was the first person to meet Benny. And when I met him, it's like we clicked. It was like he was the best thing that ever happened to me. He knows if I have a bad day when I come into session to just be there. It just helps think about something else and thinking about the craving.
Often dogs don't learn anything in one try. And I think often kids are like, I gotta get this done the very first time. And when they fail the first time, they go, oh man, I'm a failure. And how do we like look at that and give a different perspective and viewpoint? Like I'm able to help him, and I think that's a beautiful thing to help them grow as well.
It's like medication without even taking any medication. You could even ask my dad. I used to not want to go to my therapist. I used to be like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't trust people. Humans, you gotta think about it. We don't really treat each other with the same respect as a human would treat a dog. And I don't know why it's messed up, but I feel like if we could just put a little bit more of that into the world would be a little bit better of a place.
Dogs really help like a lot of staff soothe. I think it also gets us like out of the offices of how do we self-care.
The power of animal-assisted therapy can be transformative for people. I hope in having animals at the STEP clinic, they can, you know, start to rebuild like that trust and respect and safety with the dogs because it is such a safe place to start.
What we're doing right now is we're starting small. 2 animals, 3 soon, 50 patients a year. And then each kid that they help has their own network and helps that kid be a better person in that network. And then because we're keeping track of all of our lessons learned and we plan to disseminate this widely, then this is going to have a huge ripple effect, hopefully internationally.